Hey Jenny, so I thought it'd be more suitable to send you a video so you can watch this back later because I know it's been absolutely manic for you this time of year and you need to make the most of it with your employment as well. So what I've done is I have taken all the information from you, MyFitnessPal. I've taken the macros at the bottom of each day and then I've inputted them into your Google Sheet here, into your spreadsheet, so that you can see what we're looking at in terms of nutrition targets and goals. So you can see now this will stick. So as we scroll over to the right hand side, what we're looking at here is steps count has been bang within that average that we're looking for. So 14,500 between that 13 and 15k. So that's absolutely perfect in terms of progression of weight loss. In terms of your macros, let's just work it backwards from the calorie perspective. So from the calorie perspective, what we want to do is make sure that it's never any more than 100 calories either side of the targeted goal. So at the moment, this is just a little low actually this week. So 1250 is the goal we're working towards to make sure your metabolic rate, thyroid function is at a good place to continue you to recover and to make sure that you're getting the body fat composition changes that you want. Any lower than that and you're going to find that your metabolic rate and thyroid function bottoms out, especially with this high amount of output and the exercise that you do. So this is where you'll find it hard to manage when you're on such low input and high output. This will be where it's very difficult for you to maintain that without feeling like you want to go off the rails, for example. So just be mindful that anything between 1150 and 1350 is well within line with what you need. Now, just working it backwards, carbs, absolutely bang on from the information that you've inputted into MyFitnessPal. Like I said, with some of the context, I'm not sure that everything is accurately logged 1000% because of course there was a couple of days where you were away. So it's probably safe to assume that some of these carbohydrates were probably higher than that if you were out for dinner. Fats at the moment with what's logged again is really good because that's in line with 10 grams either side of the targets that we're setting. But protein is something we really need to work on. So this is still very low protein intake by anybody's standards. This needs to be doubled to be in line with what your macros should be for optimal body composition and recovery from your training. So this is one area you really need to hone in on and work in on over the next week or two, especially while we're still working together up into January to get you running into 2022 for the new year. Now, what I have done is I've grayed out the next couple of days because I know you have got Christmas over the next few days. So we've got Friday, Saturday and Sunday, which is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day. I'm assuming there will be some festivities and indulgences, which in fairness, nobody needs to be tracking or logging or worrying about those things. If you want to track that, that is entirely your call. I would recommend just having some downtime with your family and enjoying it. So I've grayed those out. But either side of that, when we come back on the other side of that, the main priority above and beyond everything else is nailing this protein intake here, and also considering and looking at that it would be very helpful to start understanding for you, just even if you're going to continue this journey on your own, understanding what your hunger, energy, stress and sleep levels are like as well. So please also take the time to complete these tick boxes to understand how you're feeling in terms of mood, energy, sleep and stress, because these elements are, if not as just as important, probably more important than your basic objective stats here. It's the combination of how the whole thing is working in terms of subjective, objective and results. Along with that, you also need to make sure that you have implemented some progress photographs, because without these we've got very little measure of progress. And when we started working together, if I remember rightly, I highlighted why these were so important alongside what the weight on the scales were doing, and also in line with your measurements too. So if you could start completing those on this tracker, that would be wonderful, because it will help you pull yourself back on track, drive your protein up nice and high. Like I said, with your daily tracker at the moment, the quality of the session you did do this week has been really good, and I know that work's been absolutely manic. So let's just nail these in terms of accountability over after Christmas. You're looking at just taking some downtime and chill time over that period, and then we're really trying to hone in on protein. And training wise, I'm just going to put question mark. If you could fill that out and let me know how many sessions you're going to get in after Christmas, that would be wonderful. And non-training days, that would be a question mark until you can tell me what your actual training days will be, and let's try and nail those steps in as well here. Some basic Christmas tips: get some steps in to keep movement going in terms of digestion and keeping yourself in a moderate deficit. Get water intake, make sure that's 2 litres as a minimum, on top of any alcohol, etc. Make sure you're staying hydrated, and where you can, focus on protein based meals either side of Christmas dinner as well. So any help, any assistance you need, I'm only a WhatsApp away. Don't forget, next week I am on annual leave. I will therefore not be doing live Zoom calls next week, but I will be on hand to do check-ins and check-in forms and WhatsApps.